Brazil Fintech, the fastest growing digital finance market. What happens when an entire country suddenly needs a better financial system and the old one simply doesn't work anymore? That's exactly what happened in Brazil. Not long ago, millions of people were either unbanked or stuck in a system that was slow, expensive, and deeply inefficient. Sending money could take days. Banking fees were high. Access was limited. And then, in just a few years, everything changed. Today, Brazil is one of the most dynamic fintech markets in the world. Digital banks have tens of millions of users. Instant payments are used by the majority of the population, and financial innovation is happening at a speed that surprises even global investors. This isn't a story about gradual evolution. This is a story about an explosion. When the system forces change. Brazil's fintech boom didn't start from strength. It started from friction. For years, traditional banking in Brazil was dominated by a small number of large institutions. Services were expensive, competition was limited, and for many people, especially in lower income segments, access to financial products was simply out of reach. At the same time, Brazil is a country of more than 200 million people, with a growing digital population and massive adoption of smartphones. So you had a perfect combination: high demand, low efficiency, and a population ready to go digital. That kind of imbalance doesn't stay stable for long. Eventually, something breaks. In Brazil, that something became fintech. The rise of digital banks. One of the most visible changes in Brazil has been the rise of digital banking. Companies like Nubank completely redefined what a bank could look like. Instead of branches, everything happened through a mobile app. Instead of complex fee structures, services were simplified and often free. The result was massive adoption. Nubank alone has grown to serve over 80 million customers, becoming one of the largest digital banks in the world. But it wasn't just one company. A wave of fintech players entered the market, offering digital accounts, credit products, payment solutions, and financial tools designed for people who had been historically underserved. And for millions of Brazilians, this wasn't just innovation. It was accessible. Pix, the moment everything changed. If there is one turning point in Brazil's fintech story, it is Pix. Launched by the central bank in 2020, Pix introduced instant payments across the entire financial system. Anyone could send money in seconds, at any time, using simple identifiers like phone numbers or QR codes. No fees for individuals, no waiting time, no complexity. Adoption was immediate. Within a short period, Pix was being used by over 70% of the population, processing billions of transactions every month. Small businesses, street vendors, freelancers, everyone started using it. And just like that, Brazil moved from a relatively slow payment system to one of the most advanced real-time payment environments in the world. This wasn't an incremental change. It was a reset. Competition changes everything. What makes Brazil particularly interesting is how competition reshaped the system. Traditional banks didn't disappear. They adapted. Faced with fintech pressure, they began improving their own digital services, reducing fees, and investing in better user experiences. At the same time, regulators played a critical role. Brazil's central bank didn't just allow fintech growth. It actively encouraged it. Policies like open banking, instant payments, and digital onboarding created an environment where new players could compete and where consumers had real choice. This combination of regulation and competition created a powerful dynamic. Innovation accelerated, costs dropped, and users benefited. A market built on real demand. Unlike some fintech ecosystems driven by hype, Brazil's growth is grounded in real needs. People needed better ways to send money, access credit, manage finances. And fintech delivered those solutions at scale. This is why adoption has been so strong. Because the products are not just innovative, they are necessary. Brazil shows what happens when fintech solves real problems in a large market. It doesn't grow slowly, it scales fast. The global signal. Today, Brazil is one of the most watched fintech markets in the world. Investors see it as a model for other emerging economies. Regulators study its approach to instant payments and open banking. Startups look at it as proof that large-scale disruption is possible. And the implications go beyond Brazil. Because many countries share similar conditions, large populations, gaps in financial access, rapid digital adoption, Brazil demonstrates that when the right infrastructure and incentives align, fintech can transform an entire system in just a few years. What this means. If you step back and look at the bigger picture, each country we've explored follows a different path. India built infrastructure first. The UAE built a global financial gateway. Singapore engineered precision and efficiency. Brazil did something else. It moved fast because it had to. And in doing so, it created one of the most powerful examples of fintech driven by real-world demand. The future of finance is not being built in one place. It's being built everywhere in different ways, for different reasons. Subscribe now and join the journey for more inputs. Because understanding those differences is what allows you to see where the real opportunities are.